Since I did a video on TMNT Tournament Fighters, it got me to thinking about another franchise. One that also features brightly colored heroes battling against the forces of evil. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Saban's Super Sentai show that was co-opted by the good old US of A, cut up, and given a cast of teenagers with attitudes that appealed to American youth of the 90s. And appeal it certainly did. The Power Rangers franchise has spanned 21 different incarnations of Power Rangers with 28 seasons of television produced over its current 28-year run. In the unlikely event that you've been under a rock since 1993, the Power Rangers is a series that's basically about teenagers in candy-colored spandex protecting the Earth from the nefarious forces that wish to conquer it. Mixed in with sweet martial arts and monster battling were lessons about teamwork and blah blah blah. Listen, we watched this show because it was rad as heck to see young people beating the living shit out of evil monsters with sweet swords, bows, and guns. It inspired us all to run around in our backyards and throw hokey punches and kicks at the air while pretending we were whatever color of ranger we preferred. Honestly, it kinda warms my heart to think the show is still having this effect to children today. In 2019 though, the Power Rangers franchise released Battle for the Grid, a super sick 3v3 fighting game with characters plucked from all over Power Rangers canon. Rangers, villains, and they even grabbed a character from that weird 2017 Power Rangers film. And since I like to review fighting games on this channel, well, I decided that I'd review the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game for Sega Genesis. What, were you expecting a review of a modern fighting game? Ha! The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game was released on SNES and Genesis in November of 1994. In a fit of TMNT Tournament Fighters syndrome, the SNES and Genesis versions of this game are actually two entirely different games from one another. But unlike Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters, the SNES version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is a side-scrolling action game versus the Genesis version, which is just a 1v1 fighter. Meaning I only have to review one of these games this time out. Though, in this case, both games were developed by two entirely different companies, Natsume for the SNES and Banpress and Nova for the Genesis. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is obviously based on the first iteration of the Power Rangers show, so as a result, you'll have control of the OG 5, Jason, Kimberly, Billy, Zack, and Trini. Using one of these 5 Rangers, you'll do battle with the various evil creatures of Rita Repulsa. Mechanics-wise, this game is a 2-button fighter, 1 button for light attacks and another for fierce. There's no throws available, that sucks, and no grappler either. Also sucks. Mobility-wise, you have a backdash, which makes you completely invincible to all attacks, and a full tilt run for forward advancing towards your opponent. You also have this blue bar, which, best as I can tell, is a revenge meter. When it's full, all of your normals and specials do more damage. Like every game, I hop into the story mode, which is pretty stock for early Power Rangers. Rita Repulsa in her lunar fortress is planning to take over Earth, but needs to get rid of the Rangers first before she can do so. She orders Finster, that Scottish Terrier-looking dude, to make a monster to spearhead the invasion of Earth. This is where the arcade ladder begins, it being a simple gauntlet against Rita and her creations. At the start, you're given a choice of your preferred ranger, and whoever you pick is dropped into a fight with the Minotaur, a monster from an actual episode of the show, specifically the episode Teamwork. Single-player ladder matches are best of ones, essentially, which is kind of frustrating since if you beat the boss as a ranger then lose in your sword, you have to fight the ranger fight all over again. It's pretty annoying, especially considering that the versus mode is a normal 1-to-3 type fight. I ponder why this didn't extend to the single-player ladder at all. If you lose a match, it looks like the Power Rangers languish in hell. That's an interesting choice. After some experimentation, I decided to go with Trini in this instance because she has Alex's flying chop. Truth be told though, all of the Rangers are basically the same normals, and all share the same basic gun special since each Ranger was packing a heater alongside their main weapon. Which, that's kinda sad, since each Ranger did have a more unique style back in the show. Shit, I would've picked Zack if he had any of his signature hip-hop keto style. Though each Ranger does at least have specials relative to their chosen weapons, like Kimberly's bow or Billy's dino lance, though Zack's only axe normal is just a spin, which I find odd considering the axe also doubled as a gun in the show. Anyway, you beat down Minotaur, and just like in the show, Rita answers by making him grow. But first you get to watch a fun cutscene set to the rad 16-bit version of the show's theme song. You fight the monster once again, but in the Megazord this time. This Megazord has some pretty sweet sword normals, but I have to question the design decision on this flying dropkick. It's a nice normal like every flying dropkick is, no memes, but if it connects, you immediately do a backflip. Why? I don't remember this from the show at all, and it kind of ruins any momentum you might be able to mount with the Megazord. Though maybe my memory on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is a bit spotty at this point, I don't know. After Minotaur goes down, you're thusly faced with the Green Ranger. This part, while short, is basically a nod to the Green with Evil arc, a 5-parter from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers where the Green Ranger, under the control of Rita Repulsa, basically beats the shit out of the Power Rangers for 5 episodes of television, stressing out children everywhere. Coolly, this game actually lets you pick a different Ranger before every fight if you ever want to mix up your character choices, even though all the Rangers are basically the same. Anyway, you beat Tommy down, he summons the Dragon Zord, and you know what that means. This game hits on its fan service pretty well, I can't lie. I could listen to that Dragon Dagger song forever. You beat down the Dragon Zord and proceed to free Tommy Oliver from Rita's control by fucking murdering him. He subsequently teams up with you as well, just like in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2. Even better, now you can play as the Green Ranger and use the Dragon Zord. The Green Ranger is an okay character, but the Dragon Zord is quite strong. Look at this jumping normal here. It's a Blanka ball that crushes everything, can be used to cross opponents up, and can convert into combos. Absolutely fantastic broken shit. The latter continues with more familiar enemies. Madame Woe from Peace, Love, and Woe, the ever-present crony Goldar is your next foe after that, and to cap it all off, you then fight Cyclopsis, the giant mech piloted by Goldar in the Doomsday 2-parter from the first season. You get to face off against the Cyclopsis mech just outside Rita's lunar fortress. You beat the mech down, and realizing this is the final battle, the Rangers form up into the Ultrazord and proceed to artillery shell the living fuck out of that fort, killing everybody inside. Victory! Peace is restored to Earth. Violence is the answer. Credits, and you're kicked to the main menu. That's it then. Well, what else can I say about this game? At a base, I think it is actually kind of fun. I had a good time on my first run, but as I played more, I realized just how jank it actually was. A lot of the hitboxes in this game do not seem to match what's shown in game. Like, at all. Look, leg go out, enemy ignore the leg entirely. Truth be told, it could just be the AI cheating, since you do have that backdash which gives you complete invincibility. The AI could be abusing it on wake up, but they also don't dash back till after any of my normals are finished. That's bullshit, game, and I smell it. I'm not entirely confident combos actually exist in this game, so you'll once again have to be relying on your good normals and hitbox jankery to win the day. Your sprint is also interesting, to say the least. When you're in a knockdown state, it also seems like you don't have an active hitbox around you. So if you time it just right, you can run through your opponent as they rise, creating a super nasty cross-up situation. Admit it. You got hit just watching that. There'd probably be all sorts of crazy tech in this game because of how jank it really is. If only it just functioned a little bit better, you know? At least the versus screen stuff is fun. I like the cute little versions of every character as the versus screen select, though the background could use a little more color, or any sort of interesting setting. The battling is cute too. I love this presentation bit. Well, I think that's all that can be said about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game for Sega Genesis. And as always, since it's a fighting game, it ends up on the list. But where? I think when all is said and done, I'll put Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as the new number 5. It's more responsive than Street Fighter 1 and Shaq Fu. It's fun, but the jank that plagues this game really sets it back entirely. The presentation is good, but fun fan service doesn't make up for crap gameplay, to be totally honest. I guess this is what I expect when I see a cheap license game, not like SNES Tournament Fighters, you know? So that's it, another fighting game down on the journey for the worst. As always, I'm 80s Manticore, this is City State Manticore. Feel free to like this video if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment if you want, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.